Unless you've been living under a rock for the last decade, you've probably heard about NoFap, a movement that promotes abstinence with masturbation and pornography with the belief that it can lead to life improvements like increased strength, motivation, and a better sex life. The thing is that not everyone agrees on the benefits of NoFap. Some experts see it as a way to externalize blame as a component of a psychological addiction. But what you almost certainly didn't know is that the practice of NoFap can carry a truly significant risk to your health. So what the heck am I talking about? One of the most deadly and feared diseases in the world, cancer. In 2016, a group of researchers at Harvard University published one of the most important studies linking ejaculation frequency to the risk of prostate cancer. From 1992 to 2010, nearly 32,000 men participated in the study. After 17 years of follow-up, the results were clear. Men who ejaculated more frequently had a significant lower risk of developing prostate cancer. According to the study, men who ejaculated at least 21 times a month had a 22% lower risk of prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated only 4 to 7 times a month. These findings suggest a beneficial role for more frequent ejaculation throughout adult life, which could call into question the very premises of the NoFap movement. That being said, science suggests that frequent ejaculation could be beneficial far beyond just preventing prostate cancer. More frequent ejaculation can help us fight stress. During ejaculation, the orgasm releases neurochemicals and hormones like oxytocin, which acts as a natural relaxant, reducing stress and anxiety. Ejaculation can also improve sleep quality. After ejaculation, your body produces prolactin, a hormone that helps you feel more drowsy, making it easier to fall into a deep sleep. If you feel tired and sleepy after sex with your partner, now you know why. Additionally, sexual activity can boost your immune system by increasing levels of immunoglobulin A, a crucial antibody for strengthening your body's defenses. Furthermore, masturbation might reduce the risk of the leading cause of death worldwide, cardiovascular diseases. If you want to know the ideal frequency of ejaculation to avoid dying from a heart attack, stick around till the end of the video because we're about to see something that might shock you. By the way, if you're enjoying the content of the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. After analyzing dozens of studies, what's most striking is the enormous discrepancy between society's perception and the scientific evidence on masturbation. While history, religion, and certain modern movements like NoFap have labeled masturbation as a harmful, immoral, or weakening behavior, science considers it as a normal, healthy, and a beneficial part of sexual development and health. Let's talk now about some historical myths. Masturbation is a very common and almost universal practice. However, throughout history, it has been stigmatized, and even 19th century medicine linked it to insanity and bodily decay. A view that, although disproven by science, still persists in society today. It's time to talk about mental health. Negative psychological effects like guilt, anxiety, or depression are not caused by masturbation itself, but by moral incongruencies and negative personal beliefs. In different parts of the world, there are recognized syndromes like that syndrome in India or Shengchuel in China, where psychological distress is directly linked to the belief that semen loss is harmful. And far from being detrimental, masturbation can contribute to well-being and a healthy sexuality. Let's see now what are the effects of masturbation on testosterone. The NoFap movement and other anti-masturbation groups claim that abstinence increases testosterone levels. In fact, the belief gave rise to the NoFap movement, which originated from a Reddit conversation about a 2003 study. In that study, 28 men experienced a testosterone peak after 7 days of abstinence, reaching a level that was 145% higher. The issue is that participants' testosterone levels remained stable after those 7 days, suggesting that if we want to increase our testosterone, we won't gain any benefits from abstaining far more than a week. Evidently, the study's sample size was very small and its duration was insufficient to draw any conclusions. But most importantly, these results have not been replicated in any subsequent study. It's true that there's an earlier study published in 2001 where 10 healthy men between 22 and 29 years old practiced sexual abstinence for 3 weeks. While the participants didn't experience changes in their neuroendocrine response to orgasm, their serum testosterone concentrations did increase significantly during these 3 weeks. Again, the problem with this study is clear. The sample size was only 10 people, and it lasted just 3 weeks. Another interesting study on this topic is a 2021 study that analyzed the hormonal response to masturbation in 11 healthy adults and found that both masturbation and a visual stimulus increased free testosterone concentrations, although there were no significant difference in the ratios of total testosterone, free testosterone, and cortisol. Again, the main problem with this study is the sample size was very small. On the other hand, a 2016 study that analyzed 620 men found that frequent masturbation can cause an increase in testosterone levels, which aligns with the social modulation model. The social modulation model is a theory that proposes that the relationship between our hormones and our behavior is not unidirectional. Unlike the traditional belief that hormones dictate our behavior, this model suggests that our actions and social experiences can actually influence our hormonal levels. In the context of masturbation and testosterone levels, the hormonal causation model would say that having more testosterone makes you masturbate more, while the social modulation model inverts the causality, meaning masturbating more increases your testosterone levels. As you can imagine, the relationship between masturbation frequency and testosterone levels is very complex, and undoubtedly we need more impartial, higher quality research that analyzes a larger population to truly understand the long-term impact of masturbation on testosterone levels. Returning to the topic of ejaculation frequency and cardiovascular diseases, we have to talk about a study published in 2024 that analyzed the impact of sexual activity in more than 17,000 participants on the risk of death and suffering from a cardiovascular disease over an average period of 106 months. Specifically, this study only considers sexual activity in a partnership, both vaginal and anal, but it does not account for masturbation. In this study, people with a sexual activity of less than 12 times a year had the highest risk of death and suffering from a cardiovascular disease, and people with a sexual activity between 52 and 103 times a year had the lowest risk. The curious thing is that when sexual activity was higher than 104 times a year, the risk increased progressively. Therefore, both an excess and an infrequency of sexual activity can have a negative impact on your health. In a nutshell, if you want to reduce your risk of suffering from a cardiovascular disease and prostate cancer, and if you want to reduce your risk of death, you should have sex with your partner between 1 and 2 times per week and ejaculate at least 5 times a week. Furthermore, it's possible that an increase in ejaculation frequency leads to an increase in testosterone levels. Evidently, we need more science on this, but when you analyze the bulk of the scientific evidence, the NoFap movement does not fare well. It's true that we still need to look at the impact of porn consumption on the body and if it can be as harmful as the followers of this movement claim. And if you'd like me to make a video about that, let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in more science-based videos that challenge common health myths, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next one.